Hi, this video is going to help you interpret and analyze the inflation data for your project. And as you can see, I'm starting out right at the OECD site, and I want to analyze consumer price index data. So if you look on the left-hand side here, I just clicked on prices and purchasing power parities. Let me just expand that. And I clicked on consumer and producer price indices, expand that. Then under consumer prices right here, I clicked on consumer prices annual inflation. And this is what leads me to here. So let me show you what you want. This is already an annual percent change. And again, let me just go over again. This is showing the inflation rate on the consumption side of GDP. So GDP, C plus I plus G plus NX. This is showing inflation in the C part of GDP. And since the consumption part is the largest portion of GDP, this is a very significant measurement of inflation in an economy. So let's just customize this a little bit. I'm just going to change this to for one country. So I'm going to, under customize, I'm going to go under selection. I'm going to go country. And let's just do this for Australia. So I'm going to click on unselect all, click Australia. Then I've got to change the time and frequency. And I just want annual data. So I'm just going to uncheck quarterly and uncheck monthly and see where it says select date range. I'm going to click on that and I'm going to start in 2005 because that's where your project starts. So from 2005 to 2015. And I'm going to click view data. And see, we have Australia and we have the annual inflation rate. Now you would download this into your Excel spreadsheet. You could do this by clicking on the export right here. But let's just see what this looks visually. So I'm just going to go to draw chart. I'm going to go to a line chart. And I want to show you how to interpret this. So here's Australia's annual inflation rate. So you can see it ranges from, what do we have here, 2.7. It goes to a high of 4.4. And the last annual data, which is 2014, it's 2.5%. Now, what does this data mean? Well, what is considered to be high inflation? What is considered to be low inflation? Well, the best place to go for what's considered to be high or low is your country's central bank. Your country's central bank, in most cases, will set an inflation goal. So in other words, this is what the central bank feels as an appropriate inflation rate. So for Australia, you would have to go to the Bank of Australia. That's their central bank. If you're covering a European economy, you would have to go to the European Central Bank. For the United States, you would go to the Federal Reserve. So what I would want you to do is go to your country's central bank and see if they have an inflation target. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, that the inflation target for the Bank of Australia is 2%. So you can see 2% is right here. And you can see the inflation rate in Australia has been actually quite volatile. And for the most part, it's above 2%. Now again, I don't know if Australia's inflation rate is 2%. I'm just using that as an example, a made-up example. And so you could use your country's central bank as a way to put your inflation rate into context. And of course, you're going to be referring to these inflation numbers when you look at things like exchange rates, when you look at things like GDP growth rates compared to potential. So there's a lot of ways you could use inflation to interpret other data, but I'm just giving you an idea how to interpret the inflation rate directly. So you need some sort of target, and the target comes from your nation's central bank. So that should give you the ability of interpreting inflation data.